I don't know. But we do have a caller.
We have a caller?
We have a caller.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay.
All right. Let's see how exciting this will be. Dean, you're on with Hannah and Ethan. How are you?
I'm doing good, Ethan and Hannah. It's great to talk to you guys. First of all, I want to commend you guys for being so open about not just how can I say it, maybe some topics that make people uncomfortable, but also how open you guys are with your own experiences. It lends the show credibility. And the times that I've watched, Ethan, you're always on point, and Hannah, you are a great co-host with Ethan. So you guys do an awesome job. So
Thank you.
I just want to say that first of all. And I guess my question is, because obviously from, I guess the term that I'll use is worldview perspective, I am not on the same page as you guys are, and you guys aren't on the same page as me. So to try and understand more about where you guys are coming from, what do you think is the most like misunderstood thing with regards to polyamorous relationships that you think Christians don't get, or maybe Christians stereotype?
I mean,
go ahead.
I would say that. So sorry, I can't speak for all Christians. I can only speak for some of the ones I've talked to. About this with this topic.
Well, just raising conservative lunatics like me.
Okay. So I think many times you view it as cheating. Sorry, people who share your view as cheating and not a real relationship, because from my understanding, most of the time you have the belief that a relationship is not only just a couple, but it's between a man and a woman. So polyamorous would seem to throw a wrench in that. At least in my experience, even though I'm not in the poly community, just with the poly people I've dealt with, trust is huge, and consent. Like, they are so open about everything and asking permission prior to doing something and establishing these boundaries. Like, for instance, hey, you can have an emotional partner, or you can have a physical partner, but you can't have both. They could set any guidelines they want, and it doesn't make that relationship any less valuable than any other relationship.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to add, because I've been pretty much secular my whole life, so I don't have that perspective like you do, Ethan. But I guess I'll just explain, like, when I was poly, that's like a weird thing. When I was poly, I don't know. The way I explained it to people who were like, what the fuck? So you just like sleep with a lot of people? I was like, no, like, I have my primary partner who I love and I trust so much, but I've got a lot of love to give, and I have a lot to learn about the world and people. And I think you can learn a lot about yourself in each interaction you meet with a person. And that doesn't take away any love I have for one particular person. I'm not doing a really good job selling this, am I? Because like it was really brief when I was, and it really, really went well for a while. However, the person that my primary at the time did not respect my boundaries. If they had, I probably would be poly forever, because it was like, I don't know. I still had my partner who I lived with, and they were my life partner. But I was able to just kind of live and experience life with other people and learn from other people and love other people. Still, I had to make sure that I was going within the confines of what made that my primary comfortable. So it still was a partnership. It wasn't a free pass to just do whatever. It wasn't like I was single. I was, I guess, okay, so to answer your question, I'm thinking about it now. I think out loud. This is how I do these things, Dean. I think the biggest misconception is that, I think also Kristen said this, it's not a free pass. You still are in a partnership. whether you love a lot of people or not, but you still are in a partnership with one or many people and you're respecting those boundaries. And I don't know, does that answer your question, or does that just make you way more confused?
No, it gives me insight, but I also have another question. So in a polyamorous relationship, you mentioned something like you're primary. Does that mean like there's somebody that you're first and then the other person in the polyamorous relationship is like in the on deck circle or something like that? I don't know.
I mean, not necessarily. And I think a lot of polyamorous relationships function differently. But from my experience and a lot of poly people that I've spoken to, you kind of have like your life partner. And then it kind of depends, because some people are like romantically polyamorous. Some people are sexually polyamorous. Some people are kind of in between or both. And it's hard for me to speak on because, you know, Ethan, we need a guest on who's like been in the poly community for a long time, because I'm like a baby poly that it's hard for me to really speak on this.
I'm actually trying to make it difficult. I hope you know that. I'm not.
I love this because it's really like I'm reflecting on my experience, and it was really interesting for me because I did love it if the person could have been a little more respectful of my boundaries. Like it not that like, woo, I'm screwing a bunch of people. It's just I felt like I would make genuine connections with people and just be able to just have these genuine deep connections with people, whether it would be physical or emotional or romantic, and no one was threatened by it as long as I was being respectful of my life partner and everyone around me, like boundaries. It takes a lot of communication.
I think I can, and please, anyone, if you're watching and you're poly, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this would be the simplest way to describe it. Dean, take everything you know about relationships, throw it out the window. When you get into a poly relationship, it is a complete blank sheet of paper with no rules. And then those people write the rules down, or they establish their boundaries with each other and what is or is not allowed. So yes, there could be a primary and a secondary. There could be 2 primaries. There could be 10. The rules are set between the people in the relationship or multiple people. So it could genuinely go anywhere.
As long as everybody in that group or web or however you want to classify it agrees to those rules. Correct.
So let's say there is a married couple that is poly. They could then say, hey, we're allowed to do this. We each have our individuals we can go talk to, or we can do this with. It's comes down to consent and establishing proper boundaries. So communication, I would say, is of the utmost importance in any type of poly relationship, although it's important in any relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. It's no different from a monogamous relationship in the fact that you need to communicate and be respectful of boundaries. Oh, Conrad, I'm so happy you're here. Sorry, Dean.
Dean, I have a follow-up question for you, and I don't want to, you had private messaged me something, and I'm wondering if you stand by that statement after hearing what we had to say.
You just
and if you
out
right
now.
I guess it's more of a question that I have. And I guess it comes back to how you view things like free will. So like if you ask the question, can cheaters change? Well, if there is no free will and you're merely determined, then it seems like a cheater is a cheater based upon what's been encoded in them by nature.
But okay, so I don't necessarily believe in free will in the sense that like you just do whatever you want. I think let me digest this for like another second. I mean, I was a cheater. I can confidently say I really don't think I'll ever cheat again, but that's based on every experience I've had up until now. I think I'm a very empathetic person. I think I feel very bad when I cheat. I know some people who I really think they'll never stop cheating, but they're a different person than I am. So I don't know. I still think it's people's fault when they cheat.
Right.
Ethan, you take this one.
Well, yeah, Dean, I made the conscious choice to cheat. I have no, I have no one else to blame, no one to excuse. I've heard people, which actually legitimately pisses me off, when I hear someone blame the devil or Satan. Like, I want to look at them and say, shut the fuck up. You made the conscious choice to cheat as I did. Don't blame something else. Accept responsibility for your actions. I'm not yelling at you, Dean.
It can also be like, okay, so here's the thing. Like, when I think about my ex, I think about the fact that he cheated, and I am so mad at him for that. He made that decision, and I am hurt by it, and that's valid. He made a fucked up decision. However, if I want to be all shrink about it, I can think about, why did he cheat? I can think about his upbringing. I can think about the way he lived his life. I can think about the way he was raised. And yeah, I can come up with an explanation for it, and it makes sense why he did, which is probably why he did. It still doesn't excuse it.
Right. So I guess my overarching point then is that to infer that there is a change there seems to be coinciding with a choice, and choice seems to I guess have baked into it a type of free will. Maybe there's compatibilism as far as determinism and free will. So it's more of a free will versus determinism question, that I posed. I was just curious about what you thought about that.
A follow-up question from V. I love this. How could you tell the difference between someone who is predestined to cheat once versus someone predestined to cheat multiple times?
Right. So I think that's a good question that V's raised. I guess my response to that would be, it's not a matter of the Christian doctrine of predeterminism, as more along the lines of the question, if we are the spinoff of biological evolution, then when we talk about these things like, you made the choice to do this or you made the choice to do that, is that idea that we have of choice merely a illusion to help us along our path of living, or are these things ingrained in us based upon things like what Hanna talked about, like nature versus nurture,
right?
And our DNA wiring. So I don't know that my point was overtly theological. It was more along the lines of, what does things like natural selection or the position of naturalism, how does that play into these types of scenarios where we say things like, well, you made the choice to cheat, but the question would be, did they really? Or is there something about their environment or their DNA makeup that contributed to that?
Okay, this actually, I love this. Okay, and here's why. So check this out. All right. So my biological father was not in the picture. I met him, so supposedly I met him when I was 5 years old. My mother introduced him as a friend. I don't remember that. I finally wanted to meet him again when I was 12, utterly unimpressed. But when I was, let's just say in my adult years, when I started having like my medical issues, epilepsy and stuff, I reached out to him because I wanted to see if he had it. Well, let me tell you, man, like when I saw and spoke to this man, it almost like made me angry with myself more, because like he is a cheater. To give you an example, he has 4 kids with another woman. They don't know about me. So I am hidden from them. He also cheated on his wife, and had another girl. So I found out I had a sister just a couple years ago. This sister lives in the same town with them, but is not allowed to tell them that they are siblings. She is hidden like me. Now, we both suspect that he has several other children out there. He's just that type of person. He's Muslim. Like, I look nothing like him. He's like this short little Muslim dude, very, very dark skin. But that brings up a very interesting question. Do I have some type of like marker, is there something like, because he's a cheater and I was a cheater, is there something ingrained in us? But the difference is he doesn't care. He doesn't care about anybody. And when I look at him, I honestly get disgusted, like even more, like I don't want to be like that guy at all. And I am not going to be like that guy, because he doesn't care who he hurts. And I personally have hurt enough people and feel enough guilt that I can't hurt anybody anymore. Or I try my best not to hurt anybody, because I don't want to live with any more guilt, man. Like, shit can eat you up.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I think you might have touched on the answer to the question. The answer to the question might be that while you may have some type of predisposition for whatever reason, I think that as your father has stayed in a certain type of environment, that environment has encouraged a perpetuation of that type of attitude, whereas your environment has changed to the point where it has aided you in your desire and ability to say, I'm not going to do this, because now I've seen I've compared this environment that I've been exposed to this environment over here, and this environment that I'm now in is better off for my overall personal well-being and the well-being of others. See, I'm a humanist.
Yeah, no, really though. It's like, okay, I'm weighing the pros and cons of how much harm this is causing, and it seems to be causing harm. I'm gonna stop doing that.
So, anyways,
hey,
that's all I got.
Oh, by the way, Dean, Eric Murphy said hi.
Yeah, to you and to Ethan, and I'm pissed because he didn't say hi to me, even though I'm his roommate, and I said hi to him 5 minutes before the show. Still, you should shout me out.
Tell everyone there that I said hi, Hannah, and that rarely do I go a day without thinking about the crew over there in Austin.
Oh, that's very sweet. I hope you think about me every day, Dean.
Eric just popped in and went, hi. Dean, it's always wonderful to talk to you.
I'll get off the phone and let you guys continue your podcast.
All right. Thanks for calling in.